Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to WFSO Aftermath. And of course, we're live on YouTube and we're also live on Twitch, but we're pre-recorded episode will be on YouTube as well. So, thank you, everybody, and welcome. And as I was talking to the people on live on what we're going to talk about today, of course, we're going to talk about yesterday's game because I didn't get the opportunity to do it last night because of certain location, and I didn't have all of my equipment with me where I was at. So, just started, talk about this game. And I'm going to talk about tonight's game as well. So, get double the duty. Results of AEW Dynasty. And maybe if there's some interesting, wrestling news, we will probably talk about it. Also, a little bit of a, development story here in Milwaukee. And plus, we're going to talk about the release date of Hey, what's up, L? And we're going to talk about the release date of Peacemaker Season 2, which we know will be this August, but they did confirm a few hours ago the exact date of it. Calm down. Stop.
It's just the timing of the song.
See, I'm going to try to get this finished as best as I can with this. Yeah, the dog is so clingy. But anyway, so a good game yesterday and kind of caught me a little bit of a panic mode. But yesterday's game, Bucks did beat Miami Heat, and yeah, crazy. And all these games without Jimmy Butler, like 2 games before the trade and 2 games after the trade. So yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, it's just crazy. It just seemed like the fourth quarter, like Miami was just starting to like fall apart, and Bucks was like getting their momentum. But it was like first quarter Bucks didn't do very good. Then you got the second quarter, the Bucks did good. Then you got third quarter, kind of went down a little bit for the Bucks, and fourth quarter and overtime, they had, a total of 40 points in the fourth quarter in overtime. And this I always say about when it comes to Giannis Antetokounmpo when he plays. If he gets like a triple-double, like pass the ball more, they will win games. So, I don't know. It just kind of proves like this game that if he passed more of the ball, especially the past 2 games with this one on yesterday, then they had Philly Thursday, I believe. Yeah, they had Philadelphia Thursday where he had like a monster game, 35, 20 assists, and 17 rebounds. So yeah, that's a big one. And plus, we don't have that much of the we got like YouTube media. They talked about it, but nobody like in the media like ESPN or TNT. Like TNT mentioned it, but they really just didn't talk about it. They're just like, okay, he does this, then that's it. They move on to the next game. So it's just funny that the Bucks team is treated as a last rate citizen because it's a small market team or whatever. And there's like also part of that TV media that would like for Giannis to leave, and it's just horrible. It's like people don't have no respect for the small market teams, like, but they have a spot for San Antonio because they're a small market team too. And they do like have some they have success. I'm telling you what, they got like about 5 championships total so far since Tim Duncan's rookie year. And David Robinson, at least a good thing he get to win at least like 2 of them before he retire. Good for David Robinson. But anyways, I can go on and on about that Philly game that Giannis had did well. Once again, they don't have Dame, so they optimistic that he might return either this week or he'll be ready for the playoffs. So it's like a wait and see, but at least we getting somebody back on Tuesday. We'll talk about that later. Um, but let's get to the quarter status. You have Milwaukee. I think that's the lowest quarter they scored in the game is 22. Then you got Miami with 30. Second quarter, the highest quarter that the Bucks has scored with 35, and you got Miami with 27. Third quarter, you got 24 from Milwaukee, and you got 31 points from Miami. That's the highest scoring quarter that they got in the game. Then you got the fourth quarter, which is looking like it was like getting close. Bucks 30 to 23 from Miami. But if you want to add like overtime for like both teams scoring the least on those, you can. But yeah, overtime is overtime. If it was like about a 12-minute game for overtime, I can understand. But I really don't add like overtime for that. But it's needed to break the tie, and it's done. 10 points for the Milwaukee and 4 points for Miami. So yeah, they really stuck. And plus, they was like out. They got a lot of players out with injuries too, but so do we. Ooh, excuse me. Well, injuries and suspension, especially only having Giannis and Brook at times. Brook the main center we have. Then Giannis sometimes. Ooh, excuse me, hiccups. And Giannis just like play. Sorry, play center at times. So I'm probably gonna need something to drink soon. But anyways, let's talk about team status. We will start with Milwaukee first. 45 or 87 was might as well say that 52% from the field, so that's not bad. But 3 point shooting is like at its worst, and then like the starting lineup, it wasn't really good with 3 point shooting. So yeah, it's just crazy with 33.3%, 8 of 24 from three. Free throw shooting is not too bad, 23 or 29 with I said 79.3% from the free throw line. Um, One of the problems, as we always said, offensive rebounds. They only had three, and you got a total of 47 rebounds, which I probably will doubt that. Not doubt, but probably will say that Brooke didn't help much with with the rebounding period. So that's the dilemma we dealing with. 29 assists, which is very good. They at least 24 or more assists. They'll be good. Um, 6 steals, 3 blocks, and really not that bad on turnovers. So I was really surprised about that one. Only with 9. I think okay, I thought Brookwood had the most with but he doesn't. He only had 1. Okay, only Giannis had the most with 3, and like one of them was not really like his fault. So now we go to Miami Heat with the team status for them. Yeah, 9-man rotation they use, and I think the Bucks use 9-man rotation too. Oh, 10-man rotation. Why in the world Doc Rivers are only playing Andre Jackson Jr. for like 3 minutes? Would you at least can play him at least for 10? Like give Andre Jackson Jr. more minutes. He's one of your best defenders on the team. It's just ridiculous. I just hope that Andre Jackson Jr. don't lose no momentum. But he did, play some tonight, so we will talk about that too later. But like I said, with the Heat, 43 of 102 with 42.2% from the field. Of course, better 3 point shooting than on the Bucks. 15 of 46 with Michael said that's 33% from three. That's not great, but it's better than the Bucks. 14 to 16 from the free throw with Michael said that's 88%. 12 offensive rebounds, which I'm not even surprised. 12 offensive rebounds from the because they got rebounders. That's the thing. it's just I'm going to talk about like rebounding all day long for a person that thrives in rebounding for like a big guy. You're supposed to grab rebounds, and it just sucks that you got a team that actually good in rebounds. I think like every single person on the Heat actually grab rebounds. 24 assists, so not too bad for that. But only 4 steals and only 1 block and uh, only one more turnover more than the Bucks with 10. So let's get to the player status. We will start with Torrey Prince with 9 points, 5 steals, so pretty good in the steal department. So I think that's the second or third game that he had like 5 steals. So that's something. 2 assists, 5 rebounds, perfect 3 of 3 from the free throw, 0 of 3 from three, and 3 of 6 from the field. Giannis, I think he had the game high. Yeah, he did. He did have a game high. Uh, and okay, he didn't have the highest plus minus. So, anyways, 36 points, plus 17. Yeah, 3 turnovers. So, like I said, one of the turnovers was not his fault. 1 block, 10 assists, and 15 rebounds. So another double double for the second consecutive game for Giannis. Like I said, when he passes the ball more, team will win games. And you don't got like some players be like just standing there like, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? You know what I mean? 10 to 14 from the free throw, so yeah, that's not too bad. 0-1 from three and 13 to 21 from the field. Kyle Kuzma, he has his bad shooting games, and I know Bever was talking like absolutely crap about it because you can't stand Kyle Kuzma. But at least he didn't play that many minutes, so at least they can, people can get off his back. Only like 26 minutes, but anyways, does he have the lowest plus minus? Yeah, he does. The lowest plus minus with not plus but minus 15. 9 points, only 1 turnover, so at least he kind of took care of the ball, at least. 1 steal, 2 assists. Yeah, but that's bad. Only 2 rebounds. And only 1 offensive rebound. 1 of 6 from three and 4 of 13 from the field. Ouch. Brook Lopez, like I say, he's got to be the second option for this team. And with 17 points, only 1 turnover, 1 block, 5 rebounds, which I say he needs to get a little bit better in rebounding. 2 of 2 from the free throw, 1 of 4 from three, but 7 of 11 from the field. So, that's alright, but I don't know. I think if he would have scored like 20 points yesterday, I would have been, said, okay, good. You know what I mean? We had a few players from the bench actually done something. You got Pat Connaughton yesterday with 9 points. Let's see, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, only 1 attempt for a 3-pointer and made it, but 4 or 5 from the field. So I think Pat Connaughton is now trying to use like most of his strengths and not like a lot of his like weaknesses. Which is just seems like it's bad that he's not that good of a 3-point shooter like he was in the past. But 1 shot and you made it, so that's good enough. Kevin Porter Jr. With a explosive game, and I think this is gonna be one of his best games with the Bucks so far. But then again, we got tonight to talk about too, so we will talk about that. Led the bench with 24 points. A plus minus a plus 13, only 1 turnover, but 8 assists and 12 rebounds. So he has a double double, and like 2 assists away from a triple double. 1 offensive rebound, 6 to 7 from the free throw, perfect 2 of 2 from three, and 8 of 16 from the field. So yeah, he was just really cooking, especially in the fourth quarter and overtime. AJ Green only 10 points, which is not too bad, but he got the highest plus minus with plus 19. 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 of 3 from the free throw, 2 of 2 from 3, and 3 of 5 from the field. Now let's get down to Miami. Let's see. Yeah, that just kind of sucks that you got your rookie Kelly Ware, which is a very good player, and they only played him like 19 minutes. So kind of bad for them, but I don't know. We need the coaches, so or the GMs, anything like that. So what do we know? Or anyways, Duncan Robinson with 16 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 4 of 10 from three, so and 6 of 15 from the field. So not that great of a three. I wouldn't say not that great of a 3-point shooter. He was okay, but field goal wise, it was just it's just men. Just do men. Bam Adebayo led the team. He's probably going to end up being their number one option from this point on until Tyler Hero comes back. But as you can see, Andrew Wiggins and Tyler Hero both injured. So like I said, they had a lot of people out. So but anyways, Bam Adebayo led the team with 31 points, 1 block, 2 steals, 5 assists, 12 rebounds. So double double for him and 2 offensive rebounds. Perfect 6 assists from the free throw, 3 of 7 from three, and 11 of 25 from the field. Kelly Ware, like I said, I'm really surprised about they're not playing him enough. And does he got the okay? He doesn't have the highest plus minus, but he's second with the highest plus minus with +5. So 7 points, 1 assist, 6 rebounds with 2 offensive rebounds, 1 of 2 from the free throw, and 3 of 4 from the field. Then you got Alec Burke with 24 points. Got the highest plus minus out of the team with +7. 2 assists, 5 rebounds with 1 offensive rebounds, 2 of 2 from the free throw, 6 of 14 from the three, and 8 of 18 from the field. And you got like 2 players, that kind of kept Miami into this game on the bench. You got Kyle Anderson with 12 points, 1 steal, 3 assists, 14 rebounds. So he has a double double with 4 offensive rebounds, 2 of 2 from the free throw, and 5 of 10 from the field. Davion Mitchell, he had you might as well say he led the Miami bench with 20 points, 1 steal, 5 assists, 2 rebounds with 1 offensive rebounds, 3 of 4 from the free throw, 1 of 5 from three, and 8 of 15 from the field. And here she goes again. Can never, finish things in peace. But anyways, final score 121 Bucks, 115 Heat. So and plus yes, I think this is the second serious sweep that the Bucks had got this season. Of course, they swept Philly 4 games to none, and now they swept the Heat 4 games to none. So let's recap. We got November 26th, and that was like part of the play-in. Well, it is a regular season, but it wasn't like the play-in playoffs. So Bucks did win. It was a close one, 106 and 103 in Miami. Then in January, late January, the Bucks beat them at home, 125-96. Then a month later, Bucks did beat them again. Another kind of like close one, 113 to 120. Then now you got this game yesterday that was overtime. Bucks 121, Heat 115. So let's move on to the next game, which would be who they just beat a little while ago, if it will ever go to it. And if you can calm down. So another close one, but they almost kind of fumble with the defense. 111-107, the Bucks over the Pelicans, and this is the first time that they faced the Pelicans this season, and It could have been in January, but New Orleans ended up for like a first time in a long time they had a snowstorm, so they had to replace that game, and they did. Oh, why is it? Okay, there we go. We got that off. But it's like with this game, it's just like the Bucks were like in it like back and forth, but it looked like at one point Pelicans was going to come back. And plus majority of their team is out. Especially they had C.J. McCollum and Zion Williamson. They decided had them go out for the rest of the season. So I guess then again the Pelicans can play their odds on the lottery, which they still got the two of our first round picks swap, which would be next year, and I think the 2027. I think it's 2027 when they traded. I think they traded to Sorry, yeah, they traded to Portland. Not Portland, but God, what's the? Oh, Wizards. Yeah, the Washington Wizards. So, yeah, they did that for that Kuzma and Middleton trade. Anyways, let's go to the game charts, because yeah, this was a very interesting game, and kind of a game they really needed to win. Because I know Indiana did play early. They played against Denver, so we're gonna look at that in a minute. Why I'm gonna be looking at it is because the fourth seed is on the line, and possibility that the Bucks can get there. Well, right now, what we'll be saying that right now there's no chance they're gonna end up getting the third seed, but the fourth seed right now is still an option. So we're gonna see how the Pacers did and talk about it from there. I see. And like I said, it's like back and forth. Most of the first quarter was for the Bucks, but like I said, New Orleans came back. The end of the first quarter and the beginning of the second. Then Bucks again, up there. Then went down again to the almost late second quarter, but Bucks did came back on that in the beginning of the end of the second and the beginning of the third. Then it was mostly like New Orleans Pelicans in the third quarter until the late third quarter. It was all Bucks. Then fourth quarter it was mostly Bucks, but after all of that, most of the fourth they were like they finished them off. Just put it that way. So the biggest lead the Bucks had was 11, and the biggest lead that the Pelicans had was 5. 17 times the game was tied. The longest run was 13, and lead changes were 18. So, anyways, yeah, I was thinking that that Brooke had to be that number one guy to step up, but somebody else stepped up instead. Not saying Brooke had did this thing. We'll talk about him in a minute, but Gary Trent Jr. They started him, and he ended up being like pretty good. So I do like the lineup of Trent and I think it was Trent and Rollins. Then you had no Trent and Kevin Porter Jr. Then you had Trent at the small forward. Then you had Rollins at the point. Then Kevin Porter Jr. at the 2. So that was really like interesting lineup. A little bit shades of AJ Green was in there, but I just think he didn't like one, at least one or two of his shots should have went in, but that's the NBA for you. Anyways, let's say 111, 107. Bucks actually had more rebounds this time than Pelicans 59-55. Pelicans had more assists, just 2 more assists, but actually 29 assists from Bucks is actually pretty good. You got 10 steals from the Bucks, which is good. 4 steals from the Pelicans. I wish they was like a little bit more like in blocks, but then again they were short of a like big man. So they did play Pete Nance, and I'm like, finally you have somebody that's like a decent height that can play center that you use that you got on your bench. Well, in a way, I was kind of hoping for Tyler Smith to play, but that didn't happen, and I don't know. As part of it, we're talking about it, but really not that bad turnovers. Only 7, so that's not too bad. But Pelicans has 11. Field goal wise, I would say that's 47% for the Bucks and 45% for the Pelicans. 3-point shooting, Pelicans were a little bit better than the Bucks. Pelicans had 36.4 and Bucks had 34.4. Free throw wise, Pelicans was a little bit better, 64.3% to 64%. So, a little bit close. Points in the paint, oh wow, it was tied. So that's something. 54 to 54, and this was without Giannis. So that's good news. Second chance points, they really got to get better than that. Only 7 to Pelican 16. Fast break points is pretty good. 24 to 13. So can't complain about that. But yeah, let's go to the box score and talk about the player status. So I guess the Bucks will be the ones to talk about first, which is mainly their big four stepped up, and yeah, Kyle Kuzma with 17 points. Like 15 of his points were scored in the first half. 4 turnovers, and which is crazy turnovers. You need to calm down with the ball, like I was saying. 1 steal, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. Rebounds got to be a little bit better, especially if you starting like a power forward. Got to do better. 1 to 2 from the free throw, 0-1 from 3, and 8 of 13 from the field, which is really not bad. I guess probably the only problem is like it was his turnover, and he needs to be more of a rebounder. Brook Lopez with 20 points, 4 blocks, 3 assists, 12 rebounds. 12. I'm just glad, he get it going because, you gotta, you're the only big man there, so you should be getting more rebounds than what you are. But anyways, yeah, 5 offensive rebounds, which is pretty good. Perfect 2 of 2 from the free throw. 2 of 6 from 3, but 8 of 16 from the field. So, field goal wise, like in the mid-range and stuff like that, not too bad. Gary Trent Jr., although like 3-point shooting is like okay, free throws should have been a little bit better, but anyways, he led the team. I don't know if he led the game, but I think he led the team with 29 points. Let's see, 1 assist, 5 rebounds with 1 offensive rebounds, 5 of 8 from the free throw, 4 of 10 from 3, and 10 of 17 from the field. So field goal wise, not too bad. And of course, starting point guard was Kevin Porter Jr. Had like 20 points, 2 steals, 4 assists, 8 rebounds, so not too bad. So near double with 1 offensive rebound. 1 to 2 from the free throw, 3 of 5 from 3, and 8 of 18 from the field. Then you got only like one worthy person to talk about on the bench. Although I would like commend Pete Nance with like 2 assists and 5 rebounds for his like over 13 minutes of play, which should have played a little bit longer. Could have gave like Brooks some more rest, but who I know. I guess the only person that's worth talking about is Ryan Rollins from the bench. Actually just led the bench with 14 points, 4 steals, no turnovers, 10 assists, so double for him, and 7 rebounds. So he was 3 rebounds away from a triple double. That's just crazy. Let's see, 4 of 6 from the free throw, 0 of 3 from 3, so not as good shooting night. And the same thing with field goal, 5 of 15, so not a good shooting night for him. And that kind of sucks. But they think he's probably better, as a starter. But I don't know why, Doc Rivers kind of made the switch and had like Porter Jr. or Trent to start, but I understand why, and hopefully he'll be all right on Tuesday. Okay, now the Pelicans. You got Bruce Brown, and I didn't even know he was with the Pelicans. I know he got traded out of Toronto, but I didn't know he ended up with the Pelicans. Anyways, 16 points, 1 block, 9 assists, so near double-double for him. 4 rebounds, 2 or 3 from the free throw, 0 or 1 from 3, but 7 to 16 from the field. Keon Brooks, who is a rookie, with 13 points, 1 block, 1 assist, 10 rebounds, so double-double for him with 1 offensive rebound. 2 of 2 from the free throw, 1 of 3 from 3, and 5 of 11 from the field. Yeshi Misi should have been one of the players that we should have gotten in the first place in the draft. But anyways, 18 points, 1 block, 1 steal, 3 assists, 12 rebounds, so double-double for him as well with 3 offensive rebounds. 0-2 from the free throw, and 9-13 from the field. Antonio Reeves, another rookie, had 23 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds with 1 offensive rebound. Perfect 2 of 2 from the free throw, 5 of 9 from 3, and 8 of 18 from the field. And at least a couple of people from their bench, kind of stepped up. So, like I said, they did a 9-man rotation. Okay. Oh yeah, and then we go back to something. They did play Andre Jackson Jr. It was that like only 3 rebounds and 1 assist, and you only play him for like over 6 minutes. Sometimes I don't get Doc's methods. I really don't. I just had to talk about that because I said I was going to mention that. They should have played him a little bit longer, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, you got 2 people that stepped up from the bench for New Orleans. Got Kario Manjolic. Sorry if I said it wrong. 11 points. Just making sure. 2 blocks. Okay. 1 assist, 5 rebounds with 1 offensive rebound. 1 of 5 from 3 and 5 of 11 from the field. So now a good shooting night for him. Lester Quinones with 17 points. Let's see, 3 assists, 1 rebound, perfect 1 of 1 from the free throw, 4 of 5 from 3, and 6 of 10 from the field. So yeah, of course all the people that were out. So it was like mostly their starting lineup was out, except for their center rookie. But yeah, most of their players was always out. But like I said, we already know about Giannis. It was like a last second thing. Like they just say he's out, but then again, he deserved the rest from the past 2 games he done. So hopefully he'll be back on Tuesday. Hopefully they don't make no excuses or anything like that. And God, who did? Oh yeah, they play Minnesota on Tuesday. So the final time they play Minnesota in the season, and they're back at home. Good news though. Bobby Portis will. Mother said he's now finished his suspension after this game and will be back on Tuesday. So at least we have like a big man lineup, and Pat Connaughton was out too, and you already know the story about Damian Lillard and Jericho Sims. So Jericho Sims, they hoping they'll be back in the playoffs, so more big man depth, so pretty good. It'd be good to see him and Bobby, be in that front court lineup and just be like interesting. So something worth seeing. That's just my opinion. Of course, the season series with the Bucks and Pelicans ain't over. They got them again on Thursday, and we'll be at that game as well. The final game I'm going to this season. Not going to the final games because I'll be somewhere else. But yeah, not too bad. I guess we can talk about recaps of other games since we got to talk about like Indiana as well. Oh, all the games are over with? Ain't that something? I guess some of them started early. Chicago beat Charlotte 131 to 117. Lakers beat the I was gonna say Pelicans. No, the Lakers beat the Thunder So most likely the Thunder is not gonna get to 70 wins this season. 126 to 99. Toronto beat Brooklyn as they should, 120 to 109. You got the Spurs. They lost to Portland, 109 to 120. Sacramento, well, shockingly beat Cleveland, 120 113. So that's an upset. Normally would go on the Chris Middleton watch with Washington, but unfortunately, Chris Middleton is out for the rest of the season due to his sore knees. Anyways, Boston beat them 90 to 124. The Hawks beat the Jazz 134 to 147. Well, what a scoring game. Phoenix lost the Knicks 98 to 112. And let's see what this game. Oh darn it. Indiana beat Denver. Shockingly 125 to 120. Houston beat the Warriors 106-96, and of course, today's game with the Bucks and Pelicans. So let me look at see how AJ Johnson is doing at least before we go to those scoring and stats and standings. Oh yeah, once again, yeah, he started. They got him at the small forward, 6'5" guard. That's I guess what more can you do? 12 and 4. So 12 points and 4 assists. Not too bad, but 2 of 8 from 3 and 5 of 12 from the field. Let's see. Jordan Poole with 15 and 5. I don't know what's up with Alex Shard not getting any rebounds, but Justin Payne double double 15, 13. And, bench really wasn't that much help, with only Kobe Jones with 9. And why they went with an 8-man rote? Oh, yeah, because they didn't play Marcus Smart. But they could have played him. But I guess they just really, tanking for the lottery. They probably going to end up with one of the top 3 picks anyway. Okay, Jason Tatum was not playing this game. And the highest scorer was Derek. Oh, no, not Derek White. Peyton Pritchard with 20 from the bench. Oh, they play most of their guys, too. So, that's just weird. But yeah, one more, I've look at Drew Holiday's numbers on, was it 13, 5, and 7? Was really, that much surprising. So, let's go to stats first, then you can go to the standings. Let's see. Well, I think yesterday's leaders should be, okay, yesterday they mean today, so kind of weird. But anything, they're on the East Coast. It's like almost midnight there. Brook Lopez, of course, with 4 blocks. That's the highest in the game. See, the Bucks are in any categories. Nope, they're not in there. Okay. So, what more can we do? I guess now we can look at season leaders. Yeah, that would be interesting. Shea, leads the league in scoring, and Giannis is in second. And Nikola Jokic is like right behind him. Let's see, rebounding wise, I think Giannis is still in the top 10. Assists, not really like a big concern because we got nobody higher than Damian Lillard with over 7 assists. Brook Lopez is tied for second in blocks, so I think that Because normally, yeah, NBA.com will normally just update theirs like after the game. So that kind of makes sense. Steals, no. Field goal, no. 3 pointers, no. 3-point percentage is still Torian Prince with must have said like 44%. And after all the misses, I'm surprised. And Giannis is in second when it comes to fantasy points per game. Okay, now let's go to standings. Would have liked to see, the Bucks would have moved up in the fourth spot, but Pacers win, and I think if Pacers, at least they lose their next three, it would be good because the Bucks right now they got like 4 games left, and I think it's the same thing for the Pacers with 4 games left. So when the Pacers lose at least 3 of them, and we win the rest of ours, hopefully that will work out. So this would be if the playoffs had started today. So yeah. Yeah, we're in the final week of the regular season, so surprise people, y'all ain't hype enough yet. Y'all should be now. Okay. Anyways, Cleveland, of course, they lost. They still got the best record in the East. Then you got Boston. Then the Knicks won their last 2. Then you got the Pacers won their last 4, and you got the Bucks that won their last 4 as well. Crazy turn of events. And Detroit, of course, they lost theirs. And where are the Bucks in Detroit? Okay, a game behind each other. Well, a game behind Milwaukee. Then you got the play and kind of officially set. But then again, between Heat and Magic, and between the 7 and 10 seed, it all can switch at any given moment. Got the Magic in 7, Atlanta in 8, Chicago at 9, and Miami with 10. Which regardless of it, Miami will automatically be in the play-in anyway because the rest of the teams on here are eliminated. Toronto, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, Charlotte, and Washington with the worst record in the East, and I'm not sure if they got the worst record in the NBA. No, they do not. They're the second worst, but they're worse in the East. Okay, now there's some movements that's happening here right now. Okay, then there's some more eliminations that just happened as of today. So we got the Thunder, still best record in the NBA, but they will not get to 70 wins. So that sucks. Houston Rockets are in 7th, and they clinched. Of course, they clinched the playoff berth, but I think they're still not set for. Wait, I think the Thunder is in their conference, so that's okay. Yeah, the Thunder is in their conference. Then you have the Lakers in 3rd, and I guess they ain't close to closing their division. That's what I mean. Where the Houston and Thunder, they're in the same division. So, anyways, like I said, Lakers. You got Denver, who lost their last 4, and I'm surprised they lost to the freaking Pacers. Then you got the Clippers, Warriors, and Timberwolves. 3-way tie for the 5th spot. So right now they got all the 8 teams from 3 to 8 will be in the postseason. So regardless of what happens, they'll already be in the postseason or in the play-in, whichever one comes to mind. So this one probably won't be resolved until the end of the season, which the last game of the season is a week from today. Kings are still in it. Dallas are still in it, and Phoenix Suns for the 6-game losing streak are still in it. But I think if they lose one more game tomorrow, they'll be out anyway. So, but who are eliminated as of today is the Portland Trailblazers. Kind of sucks, but and the Spurs are eliminated. Otherwise, Pelican and Jazz, of course, they're eliminated. So nothing, no surprise in there. But anyways, like I said, the next game they'll play would be Tuesday against Minnesota Timberwolves. So I know for Timberwolves it's gonna be a must win. The same thing for the Bucks is a must win for both teams. So we'll see which teams that's gonna be you know doing what they can do to keep the game going. So anyways, let me refresh this, and this is we talk about the AEW Dynasty results. So let me just refresh it, and let's see where they at, because it could be over by now, because normally they had their pay-per-views probably in like 11 p.m. Central, so it is close to that time. um let's see, because there are a few things I heard from a friend, and like I did not read any of his messages after with the Edge, and not Edge, but Adam Copeland and FTR situation, which we'll talk about on here. Let's see. We're kicking off with okay, CRU and Nick Wayne versus Top Flight and AR Fox. So with Layla Gray and with Nick Wayne with the Partrocity. Sorry if I said it wrong. But let's see who won. CRU and Nick Wayne. So Top Flight, AR Fox, and they lose another one again. Oh my god. How they gonna have the Max Caster challenge on a pre-show? Should have had that to kick off the show, but that's just me. Otherwise, another match. Anthony Bowens returns, so you see the Acclaim is going against each other. You might have said formerly known as Acclaim. So you got Anthony Bowens with Billy Gunn making this return versus Matt Caster, who made the open challenge. And of course, Anthony Bowens did win. So not even a surprise. Wait, so there's only like two matches? Two matches for like an hour pre-show? That's insane. And you thinking they would probably do something never like that, so that's crazy. Will Ospreay and Kevin Knight, they kicked off the show. Well, I'm gonna say the main card, the quarterfinals and the beginning of the Men's Owen Hart Foundation Cup tournament started tonight. I thought if they probably would have started this coming Wednesday, but they decided to do it tonight. So I guess more time for like the wrestle or whatever. Anyways, I heard the results of this already, but it's most likely yeah, Will Ospreay won the match and advanced. Tag team title match, I did see some of this. So the Hurt Syndicate versus the Learning Tree. The Hurt Syndicate with Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, and you got the Learning Tree with Brian Keith and Big Bill. I'm just glad he got rid of the trunks. He better off, wearing just pants, so it's good for him. And MJF did interfere and ended up helping the Hurt Syndicate, which I guess they debating that he's going to be part of or not. But yeah, the Hurt Syndicate retained their tag titles. So Mercedes Moe versus Julia Hart in the quarterfinals match for the Women's Owen Hart Foundation Cup tournament. Yeah, this is not really a given, so we kind of know who wins, because it's all a given. It's predictable. Mercedes Moné, of course, she won. So not even surprised. Then the 6-man tag for the AEW World Trios Championship, the Death Riders of Claudio, Pac, and Wheeler Muta versus Rated FTR, which is Adam Copeland and FTR, Dax and Cash. So I'm just gonna read how all of this ended, because from what I heard, it was like a terrible ending. Okay, Eula then connects with the Bazagni on hardwood for the win. And of course, the Death Riders did retain, so shocker. Anyways, let's see. After the match, the Death Riders leave ringside as Coop and Wheeler extend their hand to Hardwood to help them. The three men hug, raise each other's hands, but Hardwood lands a pile driver on Coop. Wheeler asks Hardwood what is he doing as Hardwood grabs a pair of chairs from the ringside and sets Coop's head up one. He picks up the second one and hands on it to Wheeler. Wheeler tosses it to the side and he shoves Hardwood, then helps Coop up. Then FTR landed a shatter machine on Coop, then landed an assisted pile driver on him on the top of the chair. Hardwood then lays Coop's head on the chair and grabs it, the second one, but Wheeler grabs it from him and delivers. Oh wow! Oh, he grabs it from him and delivers to Concertos to Coop. FTR mops Coop with a neck brace and heads up to ramp, and Coop is loaded onto a stretcher. Yeah, he just don't have that many people to trust, and I'm just a little bit stunned with the FTR heel turn, just a little bit. So it's just what's this gonna leave with Adam Copeland? So what he's gonna do from here?
He ain't gonna do shit.
That was the wife saying he ain't gonna do nothing. Okay, AEW Women's Championship. I did hear who won, and I'm surprised how dominant the Megan Bain was that she did not win. So you had Toni Storm with Luther versus Megan Bain and with Penelope Ford for the AEW World Championship. Of course, Toni Storm did win, so that was a shock. So, okay, Storm ended up escaping the her finishing move. Then counters and pin Megan Bain with the roll up for the win. Okay, makes sense. Okay, another quarterfinal match for the men's Owen Hart Foundation Cup tournament. Kyle Fletcher with Down College, the biggest jerk of them all, versus Mark Briscoe. But yeah, I don't know who won this one, so I'm just going to slowly stroll and Kyle Fletcher advance. Are they going to do another Fletcher and Ospreay for the finals? I don't know. Anyways, the great news that I heard about Chris Jericho defending the ROH title, his title versus Mask against Bandino. So Bandino loses, he's got to take off his mask. Yeah. Let's see. Wait a minute. Okay. Winner and still. Let's see. Let me look. Gravity begins brawling with Brian Keith. Okay, so he did have some backup at least. On the Empress ramp, and Jericho grabs his bat. He cracks it over Bandino's head and hides it behind the ring steps and pins him for the win. But, from what it seems like, after the match, the referee declared that the match will be restarted due to Jericho's cheating. So, I guess the refs must have saw something. But then again, why he... This is kind of weird. How you going to have that and then restart the match? Okay, what would it make sense if you would have had another referee came out and just said no, this is what happened, and show the replay, then the ref be like, okay, we're going to restart it from what happened. So I can understand that, but just automatically just say, you're just going to restart the match, and you probably look at the video and be like, oh, okay. I don't know. Just to me, in my opinion, it just didn't make that much sense. So, yeah. Bandino did his finishing move and pinned Jericho for the win. So, we now got a new ROH champion, which is Bandino. Which I'm glad because, I'm sorry, but Jericho only needed to win the Ring of Honor title only once, not twice. And I guess they thought it was marketing purposes for a Ring of Honor, which still ain't going to help if you ain't got a TV deal for Ring of Honor just yet. You could have worked something with Warner Brothers Discovery and probably had Ring of Honor show on True TV Uh, some of these deals is just like backwards. It just really is. TNT Championship on the line. Daniel Garcia defending against Adam Cole, which everyone from each side is barred from ringside. So something tells me that something is going to be up with this. Let's see. Oh wow. Okay, Cole grabs onto his knee, but Garcia drags him up the rope. Cole fights him off, then connects with a pair of Parama City Sunrise on him and exposes his knees. He delivered the boom for the win, and one fair and square. Okay, Adam Cole is the new TNT champion. Well, at least finally he has a title, but nothing against Daniel Garcia, which I'm glad when he finally got his the TNT title and have his run. So although he had a good run, that's just me. Some of y'all probably would think different. After the match, Cole offers hand. Garcia shakes his hand and holds up Cole's head. Okay, so yeah, clean match, and that's a good way to end it. Especially got two faces going at each other. You don't want the one just suddenly out of nowhere just turn heel. So, man, just saying, the better man won. Okay, so we got Mike Bailey versus wait. Oh, okay, so it's I forgot they did this. Kenny Omega is defending his international championship in a three-way match against Speedball Mike Bailey and Ricochet. So Kenny Omega just won this, so I seriously doubt it if he ends up, losing it. But that's just me. Crazier things happen. Okay, so if it stops right there, so which means the PLE, well, pay per view. I'm sorry,
Thank you.
it's still going on. So yep. Seems like that's all we know for now, and there's probably the match still going on, and they still got the AEW Championship going on. Well, about to got to happen as well. So yeah, this is insane. So we will probably will do like a recap of this tomorrow. Talk about the like full results. So I probably will do like a special video for this and just talk about it. But then again, this is how AEW pay per views are, real way long, and especially when they was here for Collision last Saturday, and after Collision, then they run back did the Ring of Honor television. They did an hour, and I don't know, it was just like too many tag matches they had, and it was just like I don't know, it's just a few of those tag matches was like way too long. I don't know, but that's just how I feel. So yeah, now looking at positions, so we're gonna look at see if there's some news to talk about before we move on. So if there's anything interesting, we'll probably will talk about it. And I know people did really like that segment with Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton. The sad thing is they kind of muted that if you watch it through Netflix, I believe. But I think if you watch it from the WWE.com, they probably didn't do anything about it. So hopefully they didn't. Mm, okay, of course, there's rumors that Saraya, also known as Paige, may go back to the WWE. Possibility, but then again, you got a new regime in there, and things possible. Same thing said with Hurricane Helms. Although he's working backstage as a road agent and producer, so they asked him to have one more run, and I guess he told them that he will be interested, but give him 6 months. I guess trying to get in shape. Which I can understand. Might as well if you can do one more run and hopefully have like a big good ending for him, because it's like he was always known for like winning the cruiserweight, and maybe he can win like one of the mid card titles before his career is over. That would be something. Um, of course, the segment I was talking about that happened this past Friday. Um, Let's see. Um, no. Okay, now looking at that. WWE from Chair reflects on that. He ain't gotta talk about that. And I forgot he is a WWE Hall of Famer. I forgot about that. Um, I guess there's one thing I can talk about. Before we move on. Um, I didn't see Collision, so I'm probably not even gonna watch this week or Dynamite this week because like I know what's going on with the results of most of Dynasty. So I ended up watching Who Killed WCW last night. I know it's been no. I know the limited series was around for like a few years, and I just finally like had the opportunity to watch it. I already watched the first episode because they showed the first episode for free on YouTube. Then I just saw the final three. So I was thinking all these things is like maybe it's just like putting out like Who Killed WCW, and well, I knew like about the bits and pieces why it was like looked like it was going downhill. So I knew about those parts, but seeing this whole series gives me like a different point of view of what happened because at the time not many of us was like on internet looking at dirt sheets or anything like that. So I ain't knew about the dirt sheets until like what late like around 2007 2008. But yeah, so I didn't know much about no dirt sheets and really didn't care for it because I like to be surprised. That's just me. I just like to be surprised on what things happen. But yeah, I didn't know Eric Bischoff was let go in I think they said it was in '99. Then they hired Vince Russo, and I kind of hated him because he was one of the reasons that WCW did went down the ship. But I guess it was like he was pushing for some other stars to be champion, like Booker T or any other one like young stars, and not have some of these like veteran stars to. Hey, will you stay still? See, this never ends. It never ends. But anyway, so I had to give Vince Russo credit for that, and especially you had all these top stars. They want their spots and kept their spots and stuff like that. I don't think it was the thing like they're losing their spots. They just had to they still will wrestle, but they had to step aside, let some of the young talent at least win. Like some of the young talent, like they mentioned like Rey Mysterio was one or Conan. Like Conan did win, the United States title, but I think he probably won the tag titles with Rey Mysterio too. I think he did. But the point is like let other stars build up and like because there's gonna be some people. Well, I would say half or most of the people are sick and tired of the some of the same narratives over and over again. Which WWE was accustomed to doing that too in the 2010s. That's why they end up having like they was in a dark place at that time before COVID hit. But we know results what happened. Vince was relieving his duties. Then somehow he managed to get himself back in. Then TKO, they took over and a lot of the stuff that was going on with with Vince. So they would just decide, what, either you get fired or just relieve your duties. But you get fired, you ain't going, get no I don't know if they say pension or something like that. I don't know the case may be, but that we were. It's mainly like it was gonna say like they fired Vince, and it probably was gonna go public. So that's probably what it was. Um. Anyways, with Sorry. She just never stays still, and y'all probably gonna see a lot of her, especially with videos and stuff like that. So y'all probably gonna end up seeing her a little bit more. Um. Anyways, there was that news with then then Bischoff came back and Vince Russo was supposed to be the head writer since Bischoff, when they let go of Bischoff, then they hired Bischoff back, and they wanted him to oversee like what Vince Russo was doing. So Bischoff had his plans and Russo had his. So it just got all the way like a cluster dumpster, just put it that way. Hey, stay still. That's why some of these episodes gonna end up being longer than usual because of this beautiful pup. But anyway, so it got from that. So then it got but like I said, with the situation with the Booker T, and Jeff Jarrett was another one that they he wanted to push as well. Of course, Jeff Jarrett never won a world title, but always had like a mid card title and stuff like that. So fair due. So it was like Hogan was supposed to face I forgot who for the title. I think it was, I don't know if it was Sting or who, but I knew it was somebody for the title, and they wanted to give it back to Hogan. So they had Hogan and Jarrett. I guess they was going against each other. Then Jarrett had laid down, and I guess Hogan was like, "No, I'm out of here." So they left. Then Russo came out and just did a different plan. So they had like Booker T and Jeff Jarrett face each other for the world title, and first time for Booker T won the title, so that was good for him. I think between that period and all the way through like the end of WCW, Booker T won it. I guess 4 times at that point before the last episode of Nitro. I didn't know Booker T was like already had the the United States title, but ended up being a double champion by the end of the night, and I think he did beat Jarrett for it. It was either Jarrett or Scott Steiner. Oh, yeah, it was Scott Steiner. I'm sorry. I guess Scott Steiner did have the belt and ended up losing it to Booker T. So Booker T won the title for the final episode of Nitro. And you kind of know the detail from there. So, as he was saying that, he's going to treat, the match that he was in with Scott Steiner as an audition. Because who knows, WWE may be, knocking on their door. But, and it did for him. So, although Scott Steiner got in like later, then, there was everybody else that, that didn't want to go to WWE. They was actually were getting paid anyway for not doing anything for like the next few years. So, some of them got lucky. But they said with the Time Warner and AOL merger, that was one of the things, they was like kind of treat like WCW as a low rate. But what really killed WCW, although, the factors of, Hulk Hogan is creative control of his matches and character, which is still kind of stupid and was a bad signage. So I think some people probably saw that at the beginning of the end when Hogan signed that deal for him to be creative control of wherever goes on. Then of course you got the Goldberg situation with Goldberg and Nash facing off. Then Nash over there playing like I didn't know what was going to happen, and knowing full well you were the booker for that match, and I think that was the Bischoff's fault, was like letting Kevin Nash be the booker. But it was two bookers at that time. It was Kevin Sullivan and Kevin Nash at that time. So I'm just so surprised that Kevin Sullivan didn't do anything. But one of the things, like after Bischoff left, you had Kevin Sullivan be the main booker, and they said like in ratings wise, since he was the booker, that WCW did not do that great. So with the Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff, coming back and all that, and plus with the AOL Time Warner, merger. And it was like, they're going to end up starting cutting costs and stuff like that. And WCW was on that list, but they really didn't do much of anything. They had one of the presidents of Turner Network, I believe it was, sees over everything, and he did not have a clue what he was doing. And he admitted that he didn't. He just tried to do the best he can, but he thought, WCW at least was worth saving. So, another part of it was Bischoff came to him with the idea if you're gonna sell the company, he can help sell it for him. And it was at one point was going to sell to these dudes that were from is that the I hope that's the cord. So sorry guys. I just hope this is the cord for the I apologize, guys. Where is that? Let's see. I'm sorry, I gotta put y'all down for a second for the people that's watching pre-recorded. So I apologize. You might see some knees and feet. Watch out, you moving this part back and forth. I can't even tell which one is one thing is plugged. Okay, I'm on it and wrong cord. That's crazy. Okay. That was wrong cord for that one. So where's the other cord I just had? Is this on that? I think it is. So sorry for you guys that's watching on WFSO 2, and there we go. Sorry. There we go. Picture perfect. And let me fix this one. Otherwise, technical difficulties. Okay, it happens. But with the sale of, WCW, it was these two guys in Vegas, they would, host it weekly, and it would be exclusively just staying in Vegas. It won't do any traveling or anything like that. So it was one of those territories with Wild Women's of Wrestling, and some other territories that only do one spot. Like what NWA in the past, they just always do their shows in Atlanta, and now they're touring, but they still never stop here. But anyways, they end up canceling the deal because they changed their minds. Then you got another guy that's ahead up, with the AOL Time Warner merger, that he wants nothing to do with WCW. He wants nothing to do with wrestling. So they need to find a buyer. Then apparently the guy that was the president of WWE at the time were good friends with the guy from Turner. And the president of the WWE, did work for Turner at one point in the mid-90s. So they end up, I guess they was just catching up and saying what's going on. Then, then they talk about, WCW. Then deal was made and stuff like that. So wherever the case may be, so you might as well say the person that didn't want nothing to do with WCW, you might as well say he's kind of the one that kind of killed it too. So you might as well say he's kind of responsible. So out of nowhere, I think it was 4 days I think a few days after that sale was canceled, they talked with Vince and the guy that was the president of WWE at the time. So they was talking and deal was made. And I was pretty shocked on how much they sold WCW for. And they thought, because they sold it when they think it wasn't really, they thought it would be worth more. They was thinking like somewhere around, but at the time they wanted to sell it to those guys that was wanting to run it like in Vegas. I think it was around like 62 million they wanted to sell WCW for, but that didn't happen, and we never knew. Probably some of y'all probably knew, but I never knew like the actual sale of WCW from WWE. So I never knew that until then when I saw it, and I'm pretty shocked as well. And I was like, probably one of those things. You're like, man, if I would have won the lottery around that time, I would have brought it. That would have been funny. But 4.9 million WCW was sold to WWE. 4.9 million. Some people was like upset, and I would be upset too. Like, that's it. Then you got the angle with Vince and Shane for the last episode of Nitro. Then you got the invasion. Some WCW guys were like coming up and they could not get their top stars because some of them did not want to come to WWE, which I can understand now because Vince McMahon. But other than that, then you're gonna know that Survivor Series match. The end of WCW and ECW. But and that was it. So the recap on who actually killed WCW. It was dying slowly. So one by one, almost everybody, heads up managers or owners and stuff like that. Ted Turner, Eric Bischoff, Kevin Nash, Kevin Sullivan, Hulk Hogan, Vince Russo, and all those guys were responsible for the death of WCW. They're mainly responsible, and it's just killed off by the guy that was with the Tyner Warner and AOL merger, want nothing to do with it, so he just finished it off. That's basically what it was. He just finished it off. But all those people I named were fully responsible of the demise of WCW. I did see like the rise and fall of WCW, but with who killed WCW was more detail about it than the rise and fall on WCW. So it probably will be like a DVD you will want to look forward to, like look at, but it doesn't like explain the whole story. It explains half of it, but not the whole story. So if you ever had time, if you got like Vice TV, check that out. Who killed WCW? And just let me know what y'all think if y'all want to talk about it. So comment below. So anyways, ending on that note, so we're gonna get to the developments and we're gonna still talk about Peacemaker season 2. So I did see this a few days ago. Development with this Milwaukee mall. It was like a I don't know what type of mall you would call it. I don't know what type of mall you call it. It was like stuff in the inside that stores and stuff. It's like the Mitchell Street Mall that we have here on the south side of Milwaukee. It was something like that. Then suddenly, I think it was like about a few years ago, they ended up just shutting it down and just ended Milwaukee Mall. I think they wasn't getting that many people to come, and plus, like half of the time it wasn't really worth it. And plus, for people that don't know, it used to be a Sears store, which was shocking to me when I first found out. I'm just like, why did Sears didn't just try to redo it again? But then again, Sears as a whole did close down the last decade. So what more can they do? But first, this was thinking it was going to be a hotel type of thing. Was going to happen. Then I think it was like other people. Then they had other people that bought it off and was going to, yeah, like here. It was obtained. Let's see. Haywood didn't respond for the question information. Haywood's HE Sears LLC obtained the city loan in 2019 with plans converting the former Sears into a boutique icon hotel and conference center. So okay, hotel like somewhat in the hood. So whatever, something good. Like because you had these like motels and stuff like that, but like a hotel that's actually like kind of like in the hood would have been different, and it would have been good as well. So yeah, okay, yeah, that project dropped like a few years ago, and they decided to change to do a brewery, art gallery, office, and housing. So part of me was just like, maybe, but the whole, I was just really looking for the hotel being there, but they end up changing things, and unfortunately with this, they end up taking out loans to try to do all this for the for that space. Dogs out there, but anyways, the place that they got the loan from, I think they got loan from the mayor, I believe. Let's see. He was unable to obtain private financial sources proceed for the 36.3 million hotel development, which also would allow him to tap into second city loan of 5 million. So let's see. The Redevelopment Authority Board voted in August 2023 to extend the loan repayment from September of 2023 to last month. So yeah, they're really gonna blow that, and especially somebody else maybe richer or anything like that, or has like a good plan on it, probably will take it over. Hey, if I was rich, I would have turned it to a hotel myself. So that would have been something doing. So right now, we don't know what's gonna be going on with this building, or if it's still gonna go to its plans. But right now, it's not looking good, and it just sucks. You got people that want to do something that's supposed to be a developer, but need the city for loans instead of like paying from his own pocket and know you can get that money back. I don't know, just some of these developers are just weird. Like they can't even like put their own money to like help the project and know they're gonna like end up getting it back. It's just weird. But anyway, before we go, we're gonna talk about Peacemaker season 2. So we already knew it was gonna be out of August this year, but we didn't have the confirmed date. So as of a little while ago, like earlier today, I should say. So Thursday, August 21st, will be the premiere of Max Peacemaker season 2, and this is gonna be part of the DCU. Like the first season was part of DCEU, but now they got the season 2. I guess wherever's gonna be going on, they're going to try to make it more sense of it in this season, like how Peacemaker ended up switching from the DCEU to the DCU. So I guess more of that will be more explaining on that episode. So it seems like episodes will be mostly on Thursdays, but I trying to think. I don't know, because I think they only had like 6 episodes for season 1, and of course the original cast will be there. Robert Patrick was ended up playing Peacemaker's dad. Ended up dying, so I don't know how he ended up returning, unless they're gonna do some flashbacks of it. So apparently he's gonna be August Smith, White Dragon. So I don't know, but I didn't see the preview of it, so we're gonna watch a little bit of it before we end it and go from there. So That's something. So, like I said, we still don't know how many seasons and stuff like that. Let's see. James Gunn said, "Counting the days until peace on Earth." I just finished the DI and the mix on the season premiere yesterday, and wow, it's one of my favorite things ever. So, they mentioned today, August 21st. So yeah. Oh, let's see. Well, we already know about some of the guests and some of their appearance. Okay, Batman's villain White Rabbit would be on there. Okay, Tim Mellows. This should be interesting. Him being on there. Of course, Frank Grillo is gonna be appearing as Rick Flag Sr. Since you saw Rick Flag Sr. on Creature Commandos. That was like this past December. Then he'll be on the Superman movie this July, and plus with Peacemaker. So okay, I'm just trying to really just look for how many episodes it's gonna be. So I think they really didn't do much of anything. So it may be the same thing, just only having like 6 episodes. So maybe I could be off on that. So it could be possible that it could be more than that. But I believe it was like only like 6 or 7 episodes. So I guess we will see. I guess we'll find out later that how many episodes it's going to be. So who knows? If you liked all the topics that we talked about today, comic book movies and TV news, wrestling, also Milwaukee Bucks content, and also developments that's going on in Milwaukee. If you like what we talk about, you would like to join this channel on Twitch and also on YouTube. So you know what? Please like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Hopefully we can get there by the end of the year. So right now, so far so good. After you guys that's watching on Twitch, it was more of you earlier that was on here, so I appreciate y'all watching, and please follow the channel for either WFSO 1 or WFSO 2, because we do live content almost every day, and you probably will enjoy it. Hopefully you do. And plus, we got a lot of more content on YouTube with over 25,000 videos and counting. 2,500, I'm sorry, 2,500 videos and counting. So maybe some content you would like to check out then. And I'll just put like 2 videos up today. Like the recap with AEW Collision that was on this past Saturday. Everybody was here in Milwaukee. Then of course the stuff from I was at the indie show Legacy Pro Wrestling. So that's up on YouTube. So you have opportunity, check it out. And we're doing something new with these reports when we go to like indie shows and stuff like that. So it's like before, like I would say there will be like something posted on there that would say match of the night, then not match of the night, but match of the show. So that would be my opinion on the best match on that card. And as soon as you see that, then after that will be that match. Will be like highlights of the match. So yeah, you will see that. So y'all agree with me, or y'all I don't know for what y'all seen, but it didn't get the full match, but only do like some of it for like certain reasons. But hey, y'all should have been there. And their next Legacy Pro Wrestling show will be June 27th. So, yeah, that's in Milwaukee. So, more information, y'all want to check out what's going on with Legacy Pro Wrestling. You can check them out on YouTube. I think they have a website too, but I think if you find detail for it if you see their Facebook page, you find that information. And I was gonna say there was also like something else I was gonna mention too. Well, besides the website, but I thought it was something else I was gonna mention as well. So, new episode of Top 10 will be up tomorrow, but it probably will be later. But after that, it will the episodes will probably will be like on regular time, like 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. So just trying to adjust with the new stuff that's going on in my life and things like that. So just please be patient. Also check out the website wrestlingfanspeakout.weebly.com. We upcoming events we post from fans in the Midwest. Also, videos like this that's on there. Also, if we got like photos of like wrestling events we went to, and also Bucks events that we went to, and some players and some wrestlers we met as well. And hopefully, by summer we get the merchandise store up, so buy the merch and stuff like that. And all other stuff that's on the website too, so you can just go ahead and check it out. Thanks to Mike and Robin Thompson for sponsoring this show, and on everything else. So once again, thank you guys for watching. Until the next video, which like I said, tomorrow we'll do the recap of the AEW Dynasty and get like the full picture of all the matches that happened. So I don't know. It's probably very close to ending, and I'm probably gonna end up reading my friend's message because he's probably gonna spoil everything for me. But oh well. But anyways, until the next video, you guys have a good one and see you later.